Hello and welcome to episode 173 of the Heart of Markness Led Zeppelin podcast. Howdy do, folks. Howdy do. We're getting scarily close to 200, but we're still 6 months away. So that's good. I don't know what I'm going to do for 200. Maybe something live? Maybe a live stream on YouTube or something? We can come up with a playlist and listen to it. Who knows? I don't know. Spitball in here. Hello. Happy July 21st, 2022. But Mark, that's not the date that I'm listening to this. I don't feel like I'm being heard or seen. Just like I'm erased from the whole thing and that it's just... I'm sorry. It is July 21st, 2022, though. No! It is. But whenever you're listening to it, welcome to you, too. That's the thing. This is on the internet, technically forever. Or indefinitely. There we go. Indefinitely. Oh, not even forever. I have to keep paying that. Huh. I should look into that. Coming up with some sort of stupid thing that pays the SoundCloud account if I kick the bucket. Not that I'm planning to, but that would suck. All right. Anyway, hi. How's it going, everybody? It is summertime. Summer. We had a blessedly wonderful summer here in Portland, Oregon. This year, nothing's on fire. The air isn't impenetrably thick with smoke. Government snipers aren't on the roofs trying to shoot at people. And it's pretty good. And it basically stayed April until about 3 days ago, which means it was cold in the morning, in the 70s, maybe, and gray. Good old school, the way it used to be, where it was gray until June, and then it was beautiful until October, and then it was gray again until June. It was wonderful because I hate the heat. I know, it's summertime. I don't like heat, and longtime listeners know that I am upstairs in a house that's, 80 to 100 years old. It is a wonderful house. I love it. I have the top floor, which is just a big old open concept design with stairs coming up and wrapping around, wrap around stairs. You walk up, there's a landing, you turn around, you walk up some more. And it's beautiful. I love it. Hardwood floors, crystal doorknobs on old solid wood doors, leaded glass windows that just make the light. But on top of that, aside from the fact that the plaster and the ceiling tiles and the undoubtedly vermiculite insulation in the attic, if there is any, is just laden with asbestos. I know that because I work in an asbestos lab. It's beautiful. But in the summertime, because of the insulation issues that I've mentioned, my room just becomes a hot box. And when the sun goes down and everybody else goes, I don't, because as soon as the sun goes down, the empty roof attic space above me just releases all that stored heat through my ceiling, and my room is hot forever. But, which is why I don't like the heat, because it's fucking miserable. But I have an AC unit. Oddly enough, it's just a little baby 5000 BTU window unit that a friend of mine gave me, actually. He bumped up to a bigger unit. Oh, he couldn't have window units in his apartment. Fucking draconian. It's 100 degrees, man. So he got the portable one, which I had. But anyway, I have an AC, and I have room dividers, folding screens kind of thing. And I've broken down my space into a fairly small, manageable living space, sleeping space that this little AC can fill up with cold air wonderfully. And it's getting me through, man. Getting me through the day. Hey, hey, hey. How you been? You're looking good. Oh my God. Swallowed spit wrong. It's like, do not cough. Do not cough. All right, what do we have today, folks? I dropped the ball. I was going to do Boston or Oakland 1970 as a request from a patron and friend. And I did not download those. I downloaded instead Cleveland 1969, July 20th, 1969. And I just got it on a whim because last night was July 20th, or yesterday was, at least where I am. And I saw that scrolling through the list of Zeppelin shows. I'm like, fuck, grab that. I haven't done a 1969 show in a minute, I don't think. Have I? Scrolling. 7 episodes ago. Good enough. And it was the Boston Tea Party, you fucks. That was wonderful. And then 162. All right, you know what it's time for? It's been half a year almost since I've done a 1977 show. I should do a 7... No, it hasn't, has it? Scrolling through. Maybe I'll do a 77, but I do owe the Boston. I think Boston sounds a little bit better. I might do either Boston or Oakland 1970 next week. For sure. Knock, knock. Unless Dogs of Doom releases something or something comes out or the world ends or whatever. You know what I mean. But this show is a great 1969 show, but an unremarkable one. And I don't mean unremarkable in that it's not impressive. I mean unremarkable in that it's kind of a standard 1969 show where there's nothing that's like, dude, you gotta hear blank. It is nice. I wish I would have seen them at this show. It's a decent recording. It is bass heavy. It's hard to not overload the bass. In the young years, the formative years of Zeppelin, 69, they didn't always have they didn't have their own PA system, and Jonesy's bass amp was probably super fucking loud and just overloaded the mic a bit. But it is not a bad recording at all, and it's 1969 Zeppelin. It's just the bass is a little heavy and distorted. Totally listenable. I listened to the whole thing last night. It's fine. Luis Ray rates this as a fair to poor audience recording, but he must not have the recording I have. This is fine. This is good. It is a good audience recording, to maybe even, in some places very good. You don't need bootleg ears. I mean, unless I have bootleg ears to the point where I can't comprehend what you people, the normies, listen to and how you hear it. Everything's audible, sounds great. It is, for bootleg, it's not amazing. It's a second generation copy. There's the master reel, and then 2 cassette generations, and then here we are. It sounds better than whatever Luis Ray was listening to when he wrote his tome. I'm pretty sure. Otherwise, I am just gaslighting you all, but that's fine too. We are going to do one step at a time, sweet Jesus. All right, let me read you the set list, which I thought I had, but I don't. It is Now the notes say Cleveland. Oh, it was actually Warrensville High. Oh, it is Warrensville Heights, Cleveland, Ohio, at the Musicarnival, a festival recording. They play. I think they played the Schaefer Music Festival in Central Park the very next day. So good for them. And it's a fairly short. Well, it's not a short set for them because they were a brand new band, but it's after Jimmy has his Les Paul. There's no more Telecaster. He got his Telecaster at the end of April, I believe, from Joe Walsh for $1,200. Worth hundreds of thousands of dollars today, if not millions. And as such, as he got his Les Paul and they move forward, and keep in mind that, I'm trying to say keep in mind rather than remember, or again, because I say, and again, they have, and I hate doing that because I didn't say it in the first place. So keep in mind, they are recording Zeppelin 2 on the road. So they're more blues power based. They've gone away from the psychedelic. There's no more As Long As I Have Yous. There's no more Fresh Garbage. There's no more Killing Floor necessarily. It's morphing into the Lemon song. Um, and they're becoming, they're taking shape. They're congealing into the shape that Zeppelin will take as just the titanic blues rock monsters that they're going to be for the next couple of years before they become the gods of everything. So we got your train kept a rollin'. I Can't Quit You, Baby. Dazed and Confused. White Summer. Black Mountainside. You Shook Me. Finishing up with How Many More Times. Booty doody, booty doody. So we're going to listen to some of this. What are we going to listen to first, Mark? Well, the very first thing that we're going to listen to is a very nice and sexy You Shook Me. And Luis Ray comments on how the sexual revolution was in full swing, which is true. So Jimmy and Robert's overt sexuality and the playing, the guitar playing and the moaning back and forth, which I love. Kurt Loder once said that, I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember the exact thing, was that with all the joking, flirty, homoerotic, seductive interplay between Jimmy and Robert, it was never fey. And not fey like fairy folk. Fey, F-E-Y, like, swishy. It's his way of saying that for all this stuff, they never came, there wasn't a gay vibe to it. And, going into the Seinfeld thing, not that there's anything wrong with that, because there isn't. It's just interesting that what happened, there was a lot of that, moving quickly. We're only a couple of years away from the androgyny of glam and Bowie, etc. So the sexual revolution had exploded and was in the process of exploding. So Jimmy and Robert come out and they're singing all these old blues songs that are just nothing but fucking and allusions to sex and that primal, and not the "My darling, on our wedding day, I will lay you down on my grandma's quilt, and we will become one as the Lord intended." Not that Pat Boone bullshit, but the Howlin' Wolf Willie Dixon, sweaty, dirty, filthy, animal rut. And we all know what that is. We all know horny brain is different from regular brain. There's all kinds of stuff that's totally rad when you're horny that is preposterous the instant you're no longer horny. When that post-nut clarity kicks in and you're like, oh my goodness. Zeppelin's capitalizing on that. They're going hard in the paint with the sexy sex, which is something they have to do. Not that they have to do. It's something that helps propel them to the superstardom. It's not just the virtuosity. It's that these guys are performers. They're charismatic. Jimmy interacts in his way. He's a magnet visually, even though he doesn't really talk to the audience until 1980. And Robert, of course, the front man of all frontmen. Insane. You have Jim Morrison, who would sing with his back to the audience sometimes, or flop around drunk and poopy. Roger Daltrey, who was very, 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 at this time, masculine. The Jesus hair, the fringed vest, very, and ripped, too. He was always in great shape, but doesn't have that sensitive, soft side that Robert and Jimmy both presented. Both being screaming, raging, badass rock monsters, bad boys, what you gonna do? And yet, this whole image that they're very sensitive and tea drinking, and they sit around and I read Baudelaire on my chaise longue. as I sip elderberry tea whilst listening to BBC One. There is that. There is the sensitive, but there's also the punchy punch, fucky fuck, badassery. I am chatty. Holy shit, I'm chatty today. I'm sorry, guys. Holy shit, I'm chatty today. All right. Well, aside from that, let's take it as read that you know who Led Zeppelin is, what they're doing, and what they're all about. They're sexy. They were sex on stage. And a dirty, nasty, sweaty, primal, sexy sex. So, here we go. And we're going to jump into it with You Shook Me. A great performance, and that is very, 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 very sexual. Enjoy, friends.
And for any gamekeepers in the audience, this is called You Shook Me.
That was awesome. There were some dropouts towards the end. I heard them too. But certainly not a fair to poor recording. My goodness. Luis Ray must be listening to. I know Tarantura put it out. I think they called it Destroyer. So probably not listening to this tape. Probably a higher gen tape or something. I would hope. And I am sorry that I took up so much of your time, good people, with my babbling. It's good. I had a fantastic night's sleep last night, and I feel like a new man. All right. Well, I have one more song for you. Just one. You usually play. I know. But I'm not going to play Dazed and Confused because the bass issue. Train Kept a Rollin' sounds kind of shitty because the taper wasn't quite set up yet, it seems. Or it's just, I don't know, distorted. And the only other song I was going to play for you was White Summer, Black Mountainside, which, come on, you can listen to at home when you download this at theheartofmarkness.com, where I will post this show. Remember I read you the set list earlier? That show goes to you for free. All you have to do is go to heartofmarkness.com and get it yourself. I don't know how to do that. What am I supposed to do? I understand none of this flack business. Well, that's on you. It's 2022. Remember when Badge Holders Blues came out? And half the fucking world was like, how the hell am I supposed to burn this to a DVD? I am a white-blooded American man. I will not be talked down to. It's like, no, you're old and you don't know how computers work, even though they've been around for 35 years. You fucked yourself into a corner, and now you're dumb. I'm sorry. I'm getting that way too. You got to keep up with things. So, downloading it in FLAC, you can burn it to a compact disc if you'd like. You can keep it as a FLAC. You can convert it to MP3. You could do nothing with it. But it's there if you want it, my friends. And if you need help with stuff, like for real, if you're like, I don't have any idea how any of this shit works and I'm afraid to ask, especially now after you just laughed at me, well, I apologize. Ignorance, there's nothing wrong with ignorance. But that defiant, I'm like, I don't know why you just can't burn it on a DVD and sell it. Well, that's a federal crime, boomer. Federal crime, bootlegging, federal. You don't get out for good behavior on a federal rap. If you give it away for free, it's nice and legal. Well, why don't you burn it on a CD and give it away then, damn it? I don't know heads or tails of this, know what to do with an MKV file and ISO. I just want to see Zeppelin. God, I remember that. So many people. And very few were assholes, but some were super entitled. Like, I just don't understand why you can't. Why? Because it's not 1997 anymore. We just don't do that anymore. Those poor guys. And they were all college kids. They don't know how to burn to DVD either. Because they never had to. Because it's a dead technology. It's weird. Technologies live and die so fast now that they come and go. You know, phonographs were around. Shit. When did they start really pooping out? Let's say 1990. So you've got the first LP. You got 45 years of LP vinyl as a dominant platform. And then, you know, compact discs. They had a good run. They came out in like 82, I think, 40 years ago. And they lasted until everything's digital. And I get that there's a convenience factor for everything being digital, but you don't have that physical media, which I miss as well. But here I am babbling again. I'm a chatty Cathy. You know, it's just things come and go. Remember the mini disc? Sony had something. I can't even remember it. It just didn't take. And there was HD CDs and SA CDs. So much dead technology that's really, really good. Even Betamax. And oddly enough, the best ones typically aren't the ones that survive. Betamax was of better quality than VHS, but it didn't make the cut. Convenience. like MP3s. They don't sound as good, but they're convenient as fuck, and you can keep a trillion of them on your phone, and they sound almost as good. And indistinguishable, truly, if you have a 320 KB rip, and you're not listening on, the reference system for the entire universe. All right, I'm going to shut up again. I don't know why I'm so opinionated this episode. We're going to go straight into... let me finish the spiel. I started it. Yes, heartofmarkness.com is where you can go to get all the shows, almost all the shows that I cover, in full, as much as there is out there, and for free. Thanks to the wonderful, kind, altruistic, and extremely generous patronage of my patrons. If you would like to be one, if you're curious about supporting this podcast, I invite you to go to patreon.com/heartofmarkness, or when you're at heartofmarkness.com getting these free shows that I'm shilling here, you can click the Patreon button and just see if there's anything there for you. No pressure. This is a free podcast. But these wonderful human beings who do support this pay for the SoundCloud hosting, the website hosting. Oh my goodness, so much stuff. The cloud hosting for the shows. And it really, and this microphone that I talk to you. And when I upgrade, and I'm starting to I have an old work computer. Like I upgraded my daughter's into a nice, very modest but functional gaming rig. I'm going to do the same to mine. It'll probably take another 6 months because I have to do it, a little bit at a time, because I am not a man of means. But, anywho, thanks to the patrons. Thank you. A laurel and hearty handshake go out to these titans upon whose shoulders rests this humble podcast. So thank you, Brian, Matt, Stephen, George, Big Ed, Kenny, John from West Footscray. Big Ed, I think you were the one that had the show last week, right? Yay, glad you liked it, man. John from West Footscray, hello. Picard, hello. Knegarn, Chris, Rob from Melbourne, Australia, Wayne, Brad. I always say Wayne's name a little weird. I'm sorry, man. The reason why is because for some reason I want to say your whole name, because that's what shows up on the list. You've got Rob from Melbourne, Australia, and then Wayne. And that Wayne is me saying, don't say his whole name. Brad, Danielle, Tracy, David, Bonzo, Billy, and Mimo. Thank you, my friends. Thank you for being a friend. Bum, 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 bum. Down the road and back again. I'm going to sing the whole song. Your heart is true. You're a friend and a confidant. Boom, boom, boom. And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached would say, Happy Bar Mitzvah, Melvin. All right, hello. Thank you for bearing with me. All right, how many more times? I won't tell you where you can find me because you've already found me. All right, friendos, how many more times? July 20th? Yes, July 20th, 1969. Musicarnival, Warrensville Heights, Cleveland, Ohio. Enjoy it. Hungry Young Zeppelin.
Thank you very much. Apparently, we've conclude with a thing from the first album. Hoping that you'll buy the second album, which comes out very shortly. This is a thing called How Many More Times.
Well, it doesn't get better than that. You dirty bunch. That was funny. See? He's a great front man. The best. Unbelievable. Lets Jimmy be mysterious, and he's the friendly, affable one. Well, I am a better person for having heard that. I hope you are too. Apologies for talking so much. Hasn't happened in a while. The last ones have kind of just been by number because I've kind of been down. You know, ups and downs. This was a little bit of a down. Nothing crazy. But definitely an upcoming. So, you're going to have some fun soon. I really appreciate you listening. And if there's something you want to hear, reach out to me. mark@heartofmarkness.com is fine. Facebook. I'd kind of like to keep it to mark@heartofmarkness.com more than anything, or just something. Let's choose something. How about Facebook? Facebook. Because I'm on Facebook every day for work anyway. So yeah, you want to meet me? Find me on Facebook, heartofmarkness.com. Join the group. You can message me. Let me know if you want to hear something. I will let you know if that's something I can do or if I'm gonna. And as always, be good to yourselves and each other. I love you. Bye-bye.